Welcome, I'm Teresa Las, and I will be your teacher in this course. This is Class 1, Basics of After Effects. The first thing we will see here is the Default Workspace. Let's get into it.
What you see here is the Default Workspace. First, on the far left side, it's the Project Panel tab. You will find here compositions, folders, each of the archives you will need for the composition. You will also find Effects tab for the composition, where you will find each of the effects you can apply to each of the layers of the timeline. Then we have the main composition tab. Here is where you will organize each of the layers and the archives. This tab is the centerpiece of your composition. If you click on any of the elements of the composition and drag them with your mouse, you can move them around. The most important thing here is that you can see a preview of how your project will be showing in your final render. Next one is the Timeline tab. Here you can find compositions and all the layers or archives, for example here of Photoshop. Also, each of the layers has a drop-down menu. You will find here the keyframeable elements, so you can start to animate each of the layers. An Effects drop-down tab. To each of those, you can add expressions. Expressions is code to simplify your animations. There is also a button down there that is called Toggle Shift that will show you more options to add to your layers, for example, parenting. And also layer modes, like you will find in Photoshop. And here, as I already said, parenting. Clicking on an toggle, you will see also icon options or check options. For example, this one, you can use it to make your object or layer a 3D object. We'll show in the object the 3D arrows. In the Timeline tab, you can move the indicator. You can shorten the timeline so it will last only the seconds you want. With this button, you can zoom in the composition and also zoom out. With this slider, you can also shorten it to just a little bit of the composition and not the full time you set at the beginning. Then, on the far right, you will always have information, audio, preview. Here on this tab, you can push play to make a pre-render of how the animations will look like in real time. The effects that you can drag to each of the layers in your timeline. Alignment. Here you can align all your elements in the composition. Just select it, then go to Align, Composition, and click Align horizontally. There is also alignment of several layers or distribution of all of them. You, for example, select several of them and then check on the alignment of those. The basic libraries of After Effects, typography or character type you may want to use in your composition, paragraphs, and at the very end, the tracker. And this is all you will find in the Default Workspace. Also, on the top of the main composition, you can change it to the standard form for a small screen option, or only see the libraries. But I will recommend that you use the default option always, at least for starters. And that will be all for this class. Please continue to the next class.